Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Thank you. I forgot my show. I forgot the show.
The first word
First word. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. My name is Ben. We come to you live every single day, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Thursday, July 7th, 73 degrees here in the BitBoy Crypto studio. We put a poll. What was that poll? Should online Rob be okay with Polka? What does that mean?
With polls. This is Nick and somebody in the chat trolling each other.
Oh, I see. Well, we got to remember to do the poll today. That's why I lost my train of thought when the show started, because we were going to do the, should we do a Canada meetup?
Oh, yeah.
I did talk to Amina yesterday, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I think that may be an option for us to do one there with Futurist Conference. I am planning to go to Futurist Conference. It'll be 9th and 10th of August in Toronto. Also, I will be in LA at the end of this month for NFT Expo. Big shout out to Jay Chains. Jay Chains is going to be emceeing that whole event. So really excited for him to get that going, and definitely want to go out and support him. You guys should do that as well. Ben, were you liquidated? Is it Celsius? Our loan on Celsius with Ethereum did get liquidated because we didn't send an insolvent exchange more money. So trying to keep our hands tied. But guys, by next week, hopefully I'll be able to talk a little bit more about the action that I'm pursuing with Celsius and stuff like that. And also be showing you guys who have smaller amounts on how you could potentially recover. You know, yesterday on the show on Around the Blockchain, Wendy said, well, she said it before the show. She told me that, you know, she really thought that at all costs, like that Alex Mashinsky is going to try to figure out a way to save things without filing bankruptcy. And I've been very hard on him, and rightly so. He definitely needs to be, held accountable for all this. But I think the difference between what Voyager did and what Celsius has done so far is a great chasm, if you will. Voyager, first chance to get out, they got out. Celsius, at least hanging tough in there, trying to do the right thing. Credibility is gone completely, in my opinion. I don't think there is a way back to trust for Celsius, but, you know, it is what it is. So Drew Barry says, Ben has said many times we can pump in a bear market. The bottom is still coming. Guys, definitely. I don't want anybody to be confused right now, as we have seen Bitcoin tick up a little bit. Did we really? Was it 20,800? I mean, it tipped up $500 since yesterday. But we did not get a big drop yesterday like I thought we were going to get. So why? I don't. Maybe the charts, the technicals were not indicating. We didn't get dramatic news out of the Fed minutes from the Fed meeting, and the news yesterday morning about Voyager didn't really seem to affect too many people. We did the poll here that said basically, that they didn't want to. Not as many people in our community were affected as I thought would be. I thought it'd been over 50%. But what was it, TJ? Do you remember?
It was split between Voyager and Celsius. It was like 20 and 16, so 30.
Is
40.
Is that the Toronto meetup poll up there, or is that the other one?
Yes.
83% of Americans don't want to do it there. So maybe there should have been a better way to do that poll, I think, because I think Americans aren't going to want me to do a meetup in Canada. Am I right? So we'll see what happens. Okay. We're going to be looking at a lot of news today. Before we get started here, guys, don't forget to obviously subscribe to BitBoy Crypto. What is going on my shoulder here, you think?
Apparently, that's the way the photo was taken.
Wow. Oh, wow. I'm missing my shoulder.
Yeah.
I do have a giant shoulder.
You are literally disappearing.
Literally. Right in front of everyone's eyes. Yeah. Bear market, guys, what happens? But I do want to point out, guys, don't forget to subscribe to our other channels here. We have BitBoy Espanol, new channel popped up here, translating our nightly videos. May do more videos in the future. Obviously, BitBoy Bits. These are short form videos. You guys know Frankie Candles. And then why did some of these say subscribe?
It's probably.
And then this one didn't even have the option.
You might be the owner.
Maybe I am. So anyways, check out Frankie Candles, Hit Network. We're putting more content on how to grow your socials there. Meta Money and NFT Alpha. Just don't forget to make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. Like I said, here is our Espanol video. If you want to see DZ speak Spanish, then this is where you go. TikTok al rescate, no más desalojos. No más desalojos. Is that right? Desalojos? No más desalojos. XRP está en peligro? So there you go. What? They're all DZ. No wonder they don't have any views on them.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
They're trying to go with the best looking person they got, I guess.
Yeah. DZ es muy feo.
Oh.
Yo soy muy guapo. ¿Sí? ¿Es verdad? All right. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well. Let's go ahead and jump. We got Gareth Soloway coming on today, by the way.
Yes.
Coming on at 11:45. Gerardo Mejia says, "But is it a good time to move my coins off KuCoin to my MetaMask till Ledger gets shipped to me?" Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm going to say it again. Get your money off exchanges.
I say, I don't know if there's ever been a better time to do that.
Absolutely. No better time than the present. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter here. We're at 859K. I tweeted this morning about some different stuff. If you got an email from Mt. Gox this morning, you're a real one. You didn't use Mt. Gox, did you?
No.
I have calculated that I think I have about $500 in a claim on Mt. Gox from some dust that I had in there. I've calculated that if I actually were to go through with this and claim that, I would spend more hours. I would make more making minimum wage for the hours it takes to do all that stuff than it would be to get the $500. So, and then also, here's a fun fact for you guys. Did you know this, TJ? Nigeria will become the third most populated country in the world and pass the U.S. in population by 2050.
Yeah, I have.
I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
You got that information.
Assuming, well, my brother talks about it.
Oh, your brother.
But assuming
Smart
current
guy.
trends maintain, that's a big assumption, obviously.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, 30, you're assuming things stay the same for 30 years.
And what? Yeah, that's a pretty small amount of time for a population rise.
Yeah, I'm just saying something might change in the next 30 years. That's
I mean, yeah, somebody could blow a country up, maybe. You know, something could happen.
anything seems possible.
But
these days.
as long as there's not some kind of dramatic, world-shifting event, then it's supposed to get it right up there with India and China.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting because right now, Martin guy says he's got a Nigerian following, and Bitcoin's taking off in Africa. So, all right, check out the markets here. Here we go. Going into it. Exchanges 502 ticked up 2. It was at 500 yesterday. Number of cryptos still going up. 938 billion in market cap. So this is positive. Now, remember, I did tell you guys, I thought we could see a rise, maybe 24, 25, maybe as high as 28K. What is that? The guy from Limp Bizkit? $56 billion in volume. Bitcoin dominance peaking up again. It was at 42 the other day, 42.2 yesterday, 42.5 today. ETH dominance significantly up today. It's up over half a percentage point. It was at 15.2 yesterday. It is now at 15.8%. I think it was peaking around 21% for this bull run, somewhere around there. 30 and a half Paraguays will get you an ETH transaction. Brandon Glasspool says, for the super chat, thank you for that. If crypto.com goes down, will the crypto.com wallet still be safe? Yes. The crypto.com wallet, you own your private keys to. You have a seed phrase to. I'm pretty sure it's a separate app, if I remember correctly. So, yes, similar to if Coinbase went down, if you had the Coinbase wallet, not the Coinbase app, but the Coinbase wallet, you own your private keys, it would still be safe. So, I want to be clear. A lot of people were saying were sending me messages about what I said yesterday about crypto.com in the SEC. And what I would tell you is, from what I know about what went on there with SEC sending some stuff to crypto.com, what I know is not anything that would make me think the exchange is insolvent, that the exchange is in trouble. They were just getting kind of poked and prodded around some of their marketing practices is what it basically boiled down to. So, and one of the big complaints was the way they advertised their staking numbers, which I guess at this point that needs to be taken apart everywhere across the board. So look at the top gainers of the day. Well, we got Bitcoin coming in at 20,800, Ethereum back above 1,200, highest we've seen it in a while, BNB at 240, XRP at 33 cents, Cardano 47 cents. Let's check this out here. Biggest gainers of the day, storage. Pay attention to storage coins. I'm not saying storage is in this specific project, But I do believe as we head towards the place where metaverses are going to become more popular, we're going to need extra bandwidth. Projects like Storage, Filecoin, ARWeave, they all play a role kind of in this industry. So definitely something to watch. ICP making a comeback at $6.20. What are we buying at? $350?
Yeah.
$350.
Yeah.
I think we sold it at $100. Good deal. That was actually a pretty good move.
Yeah.
Worth removing stake CRO for their debit card. Now, I would say unforgettable name. I can't remember specifically what they said about the card, but they've already said you're not get. They cut the rewards in half, didn't they?
They cut them substantially.
They cut the rewards substantially. So I don't use my crypto.com card right now pretty much at all. Reason being, I told you guys this. We talked about crypto.com a lot in the bull run about how it makes sense to spend crypto as profits as prices are going up. Once prices are going down and you're a bear market, it makes a lot more sense to use something like what's that other card company? Do you know the one? It's in Atlanta. Is it BitPay?
BitPay.
Yeah. BitPay makes a lot more sense because with BitPay, you're spending it and you're not having to move it over. You're spending it kind of in real time. It makes a little more sense there to use that in a bear market as opposed to crypto.com where you have to move big chunks over at a time. But overall, I would say right now is not a good time to spend crypto anyways. So I don't think the future of crypto.com has anything to do with the debit card. That's what the project launched as. Now their business infrastructure is completely different. They're more focused on their exchange, on their NFT projects, DeFi, their wallet. So I have no problem with people pulling their stake CRO out of their debit cards at this point and just discontinuing use of it because it's not a focus. In the next bull run, when the crypto.com price goes up, the CRO price goes up, which I believe that it will, people are even going to know the debit card is supposed to be part of it. So there you go. Thorchain, $9. We got Convex Finance again pumping today. Oh my gosh. Terra Classic USD, USTC. Is this the rebrand of UST?
Yep.
Wow.
Or maybe
this dollar peg is now up to 5 cents.
Maybe it's the classic, might be the old one, I guess.
Well, but they have a new Terra chain, but I don't think they have a new UST. I think they just let's look real quick. Let's check that out. Let's check that out and see real quick. Is UST still a thing? UST's gone completely. So this Terra Classic USD is basically the rebrand of UST. So there you go. Fun facts.
Open Dime for cold storage is kind of cool novelty. I wouldn't put a lot on there. It's usually for small amounts, one-time use kind of stuff. I mean, they're cool. You can use them. Not for everybody.
Lulu says with another super chat, I'm staked until August for crypto.com. Nervous because of Celsius. Look, I can't give any exchange the dreaded vote of confidence for myself at this point. What I tell you is I think you'll be fine. I can't promise, but I think with crypto.com until the end of August, I do think that you will be fine. So I wouldn't be that worried, but as soon as you get the chance, I would unstake it. All right, let's bring on Gareth. Let's talk charts.
All right.
Let me find Gareth over here. Gareth, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Ben. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hold it down in this bear market. You know how it is.
Yeah. Yes, it is brutal out there. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So what are we looking at on the charts right now? I mean, are you expecting at this point a relief rally? That's what a lot of people are talking about. You know, I in the longer projection of where I see Bitcoin going, I think it makes sense for a relief rally right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so that's what I'm in the camp for. And again, just looking at the chart here, you can see that this is the weekly chart. So you can see we're still kind of hovering right around that 2017 high. So it makes sense that at this stage, you're going to get some sort of relief. You've seen a lot of blood. One of the things you were mentioning was the Voyager bankruptcy, right? And one of the key things, and this comes from the stock world as well, is when a stock doesn't go down on bad news. In this case, crypto didn't really dump out on the Voyager news, that's actually a near-term bottom signal, right? So I'm looking at a bounce. I think that was the cue. It probably told us there was some bigger money buying there. I don't think it's going to be a long bounce, maybe a few weeks to a month or so. Max upside I have right now is 28,000. There's a level at 25 as well.
My number two. What a coincidence. And I don't even do charts.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. But yeah, so let me just show you guys this. So let's go to the daily chart on Bitcoin. So here's your Bitcoin you broke here. You then had a beautiful bullish reversal candle. You kind of hovered up. You came back and retested, and then it came right back up here. There's a trend line here that's worth noting. If you take this high and stretch it down, you can see we're just peaking above that right here. So that's a positive. The next step is going to be 21,800 as your next resistance. So I think probably by the end of today or tomorrow, we test 21.8. And then that's the question, can we break through it? If we can get through that level, then you have a pretty much straight shot to 25.5. This was the Terra Luna low. That's going to stand out as significant resistance. And finally, if you can get through that, then this is my, honestly, I don't think we get higher than this. My max upside's around 28, 28.5. Look at all this consolidation. This is going to be a massive amount of resistance on the Bitcoin chart. So again, you know, it's a positive near term. I think that there's a little bit of over bearish sentiment. And one of the things we know about trading is that when the psychology gets too negative, there's naturally a snapback in the other direction. Right. And basically what has to happen is you have to lure people back in, right? I mean, this is the kind of the insanity of trading and how kind of messed up it is that it always is going to do the thing you don't think it's going to do, luring people back in to think, oh, there's a bottom in Bitcoin. Oh, now it's going back to all-time highs. Just gets to that point, and then the next flush probably comes in.
Yeah, that's kind of what I see happening as well. I do think that yesterday we had, I mean, you nailed it. We had all the elements for a large dump yesterday. You had the Voyager news, you had the Fed minutes, you know, they're talking about another supersized rate hike, you know, things like that, which, I mean, in a way I could actually interpret as bullish for the rest of the year, but definitely the fact that it did not go down yesterday and held and is even pumped up a little bit, I think that is a sign of a near-term bottom. Now, let's look a little further out here. What general timeline? I think we kind of agree mostly on timelines for a bottom, but if we think this is a local bottom, we're expecting a pump. How long do you see this relief rally lasting, and then how long before you think we get the major leg down, and where you think it's going?
Yeah, so I think this could be a 2 to 4 week rally. I don't think it's going to last a whole lot of time, but I think it could be some periods. I think you're starting slow, but once you convince enough people that the bottom might be in, you'll see a lot of people FOMOing in here, maybe around that 24, 25 level. And again, that's where you have to wonder, does it get to 28? But in general, I'm looking for 2 to 4 weeks of neutral to upside with some chop. And then I think you have the next down cycle coming in probably in about a month and a half from now. And that to me, I still have a downside target. Initially, I was at 20,000. We've now hit 20,000 as my target. Now I'm kind of at 12,000 as my next level, 12 to 13,000.
Yeah, that's right. In 10 to 14K. That's where I think we're going. But it doesn't mean we're going down that low. You know, there's a chance also that we could go retest 17 and bounce back up, and maybe that's the bottom. Kind of the most, in my opinion, the more bullish scenario. But somebody commented in the chat here, and they said, of course, Drunken G. You guys know we love people named Ken and Kenny on the channel. He says, we have the FOMC meeting at the end of July. So maybe kind of what we see is, CPI numbers come out pretty soon, I think. Maybe the CPI numbers, maybe they dip down slightly, and maybe that's bullish, helps with the rally. And then we get news, even though it dropped, we're still going to crush you with 75 bips in the next meeting. That's kind of what I see happening. What do you think about that? You think that could be a realistic timeline?
Yeah, I do. So one of the interesting things is that there's economic news. Like tomorrow we have the jobs report, right? So every little piece of these jobs report, the CPI number, the Fed, statement later this month, so if the CPI number comes in weaker, then the market's going to recycle and think, okay, maybe we don't have to see the Fed raise as much because the economy is weakening too quickly. So every little bit is going to be influential here, and that includes the Fed meeting later this month. It's just, for me, looking at it, there's still too much kind of hopium in there. Again, I think the comparison to the dot-com bubble is very, very accurate at this point. The same things happened with the run-up, with the craziness of dot-coms that should have never gotten valuations like they did. We saw it with a lot of these meme coins and just other coins. And then on the collapse side, you had many dot-coms going out of business, others being bought out for pennies on the dollar. I think BlockFi, FTX might have been buying BlockFi for like a 99%
Yeah,
discount.
25 million.
So the same things are going on.
Yeah.
It's just, the .com bubble had more to go at this point. It kind of fooled everyone, and then the next leg came in. So you just got to be careful in this environment. I do worry about, other brokers. If we do get down to the 12,000 marker, what does that say? Can they protect themselves? Hopefully they're doing the right things right now. And I understand people's panic and fear. I mean, you got to be aware, especially if you have significant money with them, that you got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that, we got a large dump recently. And, you had Three Arrows Capital getting liquidated, going right down to their liquidation point pretty much, and then coming back up. And, I'm afraid that we could see some similar things in the next leg down whenever that comes. It could go lower than people think. I can't see it going below 9,800, like maybe a wick below 10K. Just can't see that with the .com comparison. I know there's evidence maybe $3,000-4,000. I don't think we get that kind of drop. But what were your comments on that?
I was just going to say you're right about that. You have these liquidation prices for various players, and the one that is standing out to me that I'm watching like a hawk is Michael Saylor, right? So where is that max pain level for him? And I don't remember if there's a number that he gave. Originally, it was like 21,000, but then I think he came out and said, oh, it's lower than that. But that's the one that I'm really watching because, he is the most vocal proponent of Bitcoin out there. And it makes perfect sense that the market is going to have him zeroed in to push them to their max point.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look it up right now. I know, like you said, it was 21,000. And if you remember correctly, Gareth, when that 21,000 number came out, people were like, oh, it's definitely not going to 21,000. People destroyed me in January for saying that, hey, if you don't think Bitcoin could go below 20K, then you haven't been in this market very long, and, the experience of the market like you have, especially coming to the traditional markets, it tells you that these numbers are all possible. And when you start thinking it's not possible, you need to, kind of second guess yourself.
Yeah. And you're right about that. And I still remember, when I was talking at 65, 68,000 about being bearish, I got attacked on Twitter like crazy. And I just put out a tweet, a few days ago about being bullish right here for a bounce. And then I got attacked the other way. Oh, you're crazy. And I'm like, okay, well now it's going to be right. I mean, if I always use that, and I think you do too, is that when you do a tweet, you look at the responses real quick. And if they're opposite, you're like, okay, I'm going to be right. Yeah,
exactly. That is certainly how it goes. Let me ask you this, Gareth. Last question I want to pick your brain on. You obviously came from traditional markets. You were doing that first before you were really doing crypto. And now, you're pretty heavy in the crypto game. I see you on everybody's channel every day. But thanks for making time in your busy schedule to come here. But
dude, you're number one. You're at the top, buddy.
Appreciate it, bro. But I want to know, like, what are your kind of like prognostications, if you will, for the traditional market? And do you think that that's going to have something to do with Bitcoin bottoming, or do you think the traditional market can still go down while Bitcoin starts to rise?
So I think there's going to be an inflection point at some point. So I think the traditional markets, you have a double negative here, which usually is a positive, but it's not in this scenario, where as long as the economy is strong, you're going to have inflation being an issue. So the Fed has to raise rates, which is negative for the market. But if the economy slides into recession, well, then the Fed can loosen up. But unless we see inflation getting very low, like 2%, they can't go back to printing massive amounts of money. So it's almost like a no-win situation for the equity market. So I still think there's another 20% downside in the equity markets at minimum. I think, again, usually Bitcoin does 3 times that, right? So if you see 20 on the equity markets, usually 60%. So I don't think that's going to happen. I'm more in the camp that you get down to that 12, maybe 10, like you're saying. And then I think the equity markets could actually go lower, but you'll start to see smart money starting to accumulate Bitcoin and driving it back up. So there will be an inflection point. It's just really tough to know where at that point is going to be.
Yeah, and that's how I see. I see Bitcoin following along traditional cycles. I mean, people know I'm a traditionalist on this. And until we see something different, I'm not going to believe anything different. There's correlation now. 2018, there was no correlation as the stock market was going up and Bitcoin was dumping. So, I do agree with you. I think we are going to hit an inflection point. Someone asked a question, Gareth. They said, does Gareth have a YouTube channel? Do you have a YouTube channel, Gareth?
I do. So I do have a YouTube channel. I think you can find it under my name. But I don't post. I post basically the interviews that I do up there. But then my main spot is Twitter. Find me on Twitter at Gareth Soloway. That's where I'm at.
Well, absolutely, Gary. We love having you on all the time. Where are you at, by the way?
I'm just outside of Tampa, Florida right now.
You're in Tampa. Okay. Well, next time I'm down there, we'll have
so
to
if you
hook
ever
up.
come down here, you open invitation.
Yeah, well, I like going down to Tampa. I go down there for Falcons games sometimes when the Falcons are playing down there. So I have to check the schedule. I don't know if the schedule's out, so I can check to see when we're coming down there. So
yeah, we're looking into getting a corporate box. So I'll let you know if we do, and then if the Falcons play the Bucks.
You come up to Atlanta, we got a suite. So you can come watch Tom Brady beat the Falcons again. So it'll be real fun. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Gareth. We'll talk to you later. We'll put your information in the chat for people to check out.
Thank you so much, Ben. Take care.
He really grew on me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure I liked Gareth at first, but I really like Gareth.
Well, you got to be careful with those traditional guys, right?
Well, you do. And you know what? The thing, he's done a much better job, like really taking hold of crypto than most of those people have. And I consider him a crypto guy now. You know, his background's traditional, but I consider him just as crypto as anybody else. And, a lot of the stuff that he was saying, I didn't want to hear back in the bull run. And, it turns out he was right. So should have been listening a little bit better. Those are all lessons we've learned together here in this run. All right, here we go. Key Bitcoin chart will confirm bottom is in by July 15th, says trader. There's one guy in crypto. The guy, his name is I Am Crypto Wolf. I actually don't know who he is. No offense to him. I mean, he's got a big account, 105,000 followers. So great on him. But he basically puts in this scenario that he believes that when the negative 3-day 21 EMA crosses positive over the 200-day moving average, or 200-week moving average, maybe that is, with a 50% sell-off to the 38.2 fib, while when negative 3D, the moving average, the 100-day moving average crosses positive 3D, the 200, maybe the week, it's probably the week, 200-week moving bottom is already in. That's a very complicated formula.
That's an indicator right there.
That is an indicator right there. That is like when, ESPN comes on and says, LeBron had an incredible night.
Yeah.
LeBron scored the most amount of points combined with assists that any Laker has ever made on a Tuesday when it's raining in
the
LA.
Staples Center. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
In the Crypto.com Center.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But he says he thinks July 15th. That's the long and the short of this quick story here. I do not believe that. I do not believe July 15th. But if you were listening to what Gareth said, while we think based on the technicals, some of this news coming out soon might be good to do the relief rally. It also could go the other way as well. If the CPI numbers and the job numbers come back terrible, then we could get a dump. I could maybe see this possibly happening, but July is a real big wild card. I've told you guys before, I'm really targeting August through January for a Bitcoin bottom. November is when I do believe we will get it, or first week of December, somewhere around there. So, but there are people of other opinions, and we like to, show you guys other people's opinions. I'm not right about everything, just, 99.9999%, of all the things I say is right. Bitcoin has stolen the show from gold, says RP Stofferly. Thanks. This he kind of looks like Vision a little bit from.
I see it.
Yeah, you see it. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. This guy is a managing partner of Incrementum AG. He says Bitcoin's positive growth in the recent years has overshadowed gold. No shocker there. All right, moving to the top stories here. Oh, Bitcoin versus gold. That is our top story. Maybe I'll cover it a little bit more. Bitcoin's distinction from the rest of the crypto market. The managing partner added that Bitcoin would fully establish itself once 99% of cryptocurrencies are wiped off the market. I just cannot stand people saying this. This is very low IQ, guys. I'm just going to tell you. And I know people say this all the time. What this actually looks like compared to the way that people are portraying it's going to look like is totally different. Already, 90% of crypto on CoinMarketCap is probably dead. You agree with that?
Probably, yeah. 90,
probably.
Yeah.
Somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we covered a ton of projects in 2020 that are already dead, right? There are, let's do a test here. I really want to show you guys something, okay? It's not on there anymore. No, it's DeepBC. There it is. Deep brain chain. Let's talk about deep brain chain, guys.
It's my worst wound.
Well, I thought it was polymath.
Well, polymath.
Polymath was a bad one.
Those are right there at the same time together.
Mine are Enigma, Justin Williams and I had this thing in 2017 called the Enigma Challenge, where we were going to put all our portfolio in Enigma and never sell it. It lasted a week. We both quit.
Yeah.
SIG or Spective VR was another one. Internet Node Token, INT. That was one where me and Justin got a bunch of money hung up. Me and Justin were doing crypto together a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we got all our money hung up on all these exchanges and all this stuff. The point here is that we're looking at this number up here, 20,160, and people are expecting overnight that number to drop to 201. That's not going to happen. Deep Brain Chain is as dead of a project that exists in the entire crypto world.
And it's ranked 1,000.
And it's ranked 1,080.
So just cut everything below it.
So already right here, 19,000 of these projects are gone.
Yep.
Think about that. So I can't stand the people saying this because they don't understand what they're saying. What they're saying is another significant portion is going to die. That's what they're saying. They're not saying everything's going to go away. CoinMarketCap is not delisting projects. You want to know why? Because when people search Deep Brain Chain, you know what comes up? CoinMarketCap. They want those Google searches. So what we're seeing is numbers of cryptocurrency. And this number, and I can tell you, I do a lot of TV spots. I just did an XM radio spot this morning. I talk to, different internet television networks, basically. And they all want to talk about this number. Well, there's 20,000 cryptos. There's not. There's not 20,000 crypto. That's not real. Did somebody is there a place, by the way, is there a place where any coin research site actually gives a realistic version of active projects? Let me tell you about Deep Brain Chain. Look at the price action. The price action, the volume in the last 24 hours, still $115,000.
Wow.
This team literally said the project is dead. They quit all their socials. This is a Net5 token on Neo. Way back in the day, it was supposed to be like AI identification stuff. We did videos on it. It sounded really great. All these Net5 tokens were big back in 2018. What were you gonna say?
No, I was saying I loved it. The concept was great. It was
Matrix AI
decentralizing AI. Like the number one cost with creating AI apps was training the AI. So if you could build off pre-trained AI when you're building stuff, it would be huge.
Yeah, it sounded so great.
Yeah.
But the point here, guys, is, and this is what you get on this channel. You don't get on a lot of other channels. We are actually telling you the truth about what's going on in this crypto market. We're not relying on cliches and saying 99% of projects are going to die. That's a meme at this point for this bull run. At this point, that has become, or for this bear market, that has become a meme. Literally, this number will go up, not down. Literally, this number right here, over the next 2 years in this bear market, it will go up. It will not go down. And you need to understand the truth of what's really happening in crypto. And I know Gareth was talking about all these projects need to go bust too. Yes, they do. A lot of them do. Almost all of them already have. So I get heated. I do get heated over this because I feel like there's so much misinformation about this meme phraseology that's gotten popular on Twitter, and now the mainstream news has picked it up.
CoinCap.io is one I used to use because it would remove a lot of the wash trading. They're showing about 2,200 assets.
2,200 assets. Okay.
Yeah, which is much more realistic.
Much more realistic. Guess what that is? 90% gone.
Yep.
So right now, we've already had 90% of projects die. 90%. So to think it goes to 98 or 99%, that's not that dramatic of a leap, because I guarantee you we go over that list, I'm going to find projects, I'm going to say, that one's dead, that one's dead, that one's dead, that one's dead. Just because they have trading volume on them does not mean they're an active project.
Mm-hmm. This is much more realistic, though.
Yeah.
Just spinning down the top 100.
Yeah, we should check that out one day. Maybe we'll do a review on it or something.
Yeah.
Glassnode says, despite weak price action through June, Bitcoin has withdrawn from exchanges at the most aggressive rate in history. Total exchange outflows in June peak at 151K Bitcoin a month, with shrimp and whales as main receivers. You gotta watch out for those octopi, though. They're actually above a whale. So this is very interesting, though, when you look at this. This is by far and away the most. But here, let me tell you what this is, though. This is also painting you a false picture of what's happening in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's why. If you go back and you look over the last 2 years, when people were aggressively removing Bitcoin. And yes, we have had a peak. Why is that? Is that because people aren't selling it? Or are they pulling off exchanges to put it in cold storage because they're comfortable with the price? No, that is not happening. The reason why we spiked is because of Celsius, is because of Terra Luna, is because of because of Voyager, because of Vald. People are moving their money off exchanges to hold it in self-custody. They may sell it at some point, but they're just moving it off the exchange because they don't trust the exchanges. So this is another one of those Bitcoin metrics. A lot of these Bitcoin bulls and Bitcoin maximals will throw out like, oh, all the money's moving exchanges. Traditionally, that's a very bullish sign. It's not right now. And these are the kind of things that can get people really tricked. We're moving into a relief rally, which I do believe we are getting a relief rally. Let's move on here to this. Boris Johnson announced his resignation. When the herd moves, it moves. Now, is that a double entendre from him? He was the first one to start talking about that herd immunity.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's what you think he was?
I mean,
maybe.
Give him credit.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Is it strange how similar he looks to Donald Trump?
I guess.
I think it is.
Yeah.
He got almost the same haircut, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has that look. Yeah,
He's got the Trump look.
The oafish look.
He's
kinda.
the wish.com Donald Trump. Great. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson confirmed Thursday that he will resign as leader of the Conservative Party and step down as Prime Minister once a replacement is selected. At least 59 members of Johnson's ministers had resigned at the time of his remarks, roughly half his government. And this is big. I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. Candidates to replace Johnson include Sunak. Who's this? Madonna? Is this Madonna?
One name.
Sunak? What is this? Politicians, they need a last name. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Foreign Secretary Liz Truss and Johnson rivals like Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt. Now, what's really interesting here is that from what I understand, now I love a game, or I love a match on the pitch as much as anybody does. We love football. We love Monty Python. We love Mr. Bean. We love them. We love the people from UK that watch this channel. We really do love the people that watch this channel in all seriousness. But I'm not super versed, obviously, in UK politics. So somebody from the UK may come in here and tell me I'm wrong. But from what I understand, from what I've read this morning, is that Johnson's party is the one that is holding back additional money printing. And with them all stepping down, this now puts into focus the possibility of someone takes over and turns quantitative easing back on very quickly in order to, keep up with the economy, to short-term fix it, long-term wreck it more. So if that happens, that'll be really, really, really interesting. So Rishi Sunak is what he's known as. Article is poorly written. Okay, well, I will take that. A lot of poorly written articles out there. Exodus of pro-crypto financial regulators in UK amid allegations of misconduct in PM's government. So what's going on here with this? A little bit deeper to the story. Many officials responsible for regulating the UK's financial system have resigned following allegations. Prime Minister Boris Johnson exercised poor judgment in appointing a member of the government. John Glenn says, with deep regret, I'm resigning from the government. I will not be doing media interviews regarding this. Now, what a cop-out.
Yeah.
What a cop-out. That's like Cam Newton when he didn't speak after the freaking Super Bowl, Look, I like Cam Newton. I don't want to say anything bad about Cam Newton, but it was very childish what he did. Cam, if you ever want to come on the show, I'm down. Baker Mayfield is the new Panthers quarterback. Wonder where Cam Newton's going. Maybe retire. Unbelievable stats, that Cam Newton. But anyways, so yeah, what a cop-out, John Glenn. The public rightly expect government to be conducted properly, competently, and seriously. I recognize this may be my last ministerial job. These standards are worth fighting for, and it's why I'm resigning. Many have called for Johnson's resignation. So here we go. Following reports, the Prime Minister knew former Deputy Chief Whip Chris Pincher had allegedly groped two men, but chose to promote him to a senior position in the government. Well, I guess TJ, I'm not getting promoted then because, you and me have a thing. But
I just can't believe the guy's last name is Pincher. And this is the story.
I'm off the show now.
This is too much.
Oh my gosh. That really grabs your attention,
Sure does. Yeah. You feel it.
Yeah, you do. You feel it. Feel it deep in the glute, yeah. So Wow, that's a really, really sad situation. I guess that probably is what it is. I want to know more about this groping. Is this Kevin Spacey groping, or is this like good game groping? You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to know.
Yeah.
So
What? Oh, never mind.
do I have to be sensitive on this subject?
I don't. Maybe I realized that after we were too deep. I don't know.
Gosh, DJ.
This is YouTube.
This is YouTube. Okay, we are not the professional media. Just so you know, we put on a professional show,
Right?
but it's certainly not ran by professionals. Oh, look at this. WV Willis says A+ comedy. Well, thank you. That was my attempt at British humor.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Gary Gensler's Bitcoin regular.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Dirty Gary. Come on, what's wrong with you? And look at his hands. He's ready for a grope.
How did we?
Oh my gosh, how did this happen?
Johnny, man.
Johnny.
He was on it today.
Not Johnny Sins. It's a different Johnny here, just so everybody knows. The guy's big on TikTok. Big a lot of places. Gary Gensler's Bitcoin regulation grab. You could not make this up.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying right now. Somebody said nice touch. All right. Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler has his regulatory eye on cryptocurrency markets, and he's taking investors hostage in the process. Hopefully he's not grabbing them.
Wow.
The Gensler SEC has summarily rejected every proposed spot. I can't stop laughing. Bitcoin ETP, including 2 last week by sponsors Grayscale and Bitwise. Hey, Grayscale and Sun and Shine liked one of my tweets today. Please don't do that. And Bitwise, the commission's resistance to a spot Bitcoin ETP is becoming almost legendary, SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce said recently. Talking about Dirty Gary. This is serious stuff. I got to calm down. Mr. Gensler knows the first criterion can't be met because Bitcoin trading largely occurs on crypto exchanges, which he wants to regulate, but doesn't have express legislative authority over. As for the second, the SEC has arbitrarily established a higher standard for approving spot Bitcoin ETPs than for other commodities, but hasn't explained how to satisfy it. Members of Congress in both parties have sent letters to Mr. Gensler inquiring about his holdup. Maybe they should call him to explain why he's undermining crypto innovation and investor protections and remind him who controls the agency's purse strings. Well, one of the best tweets I've had in the last day, because I have so many great tweets, was this right here. How many likes does it have? A lot. Here it is. 3,000 likes on this. Steps to fix U.S. economy. Fire Jerome Powell. Fire Janet Yellen. Fire Gary Gensler. But I do want to add a caveat. I would like to keep a picture of the Tweety Bird monster in memoriam of Janet Yellen.
That's fair.
That's fair. I think it's a good trade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dirty Gary or Dirty Gary, always trying to grab. Big grabber, Dirty Gary. Hey, he may have to resign.
Yeah.
We finally found the way he's going to resign. It's the grabs. Crypto owners banned. I may be canceled after today. I don't know. I hope we're not canceled.
No.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see if if Grayscale really goes after the SEC. They don't want that noise, I don't think. They
The
want
SEC
easy
doesn't?
The SEC, yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. What I would like to do is know more about other people that have sued the SEC. I want to know about those cases and what those looked like, because I don't know. I've heard that they don't have a chance. Like, what I've heard about the books with Grayscale is they are potentially insolvent, and this is their last chance to stay solvent. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've been told by someone who is looked at their books, and I don't know what that consists of. I don't know if that was internally looked at them or publicly looked at them. I'm not sure, but he said it's potentially insolvent, and this is why they're going so hard at this, because they got to get this approved to be able to get infusion of money. And I don't know the way ETFs work in terms of infusion to money to the company, but I'm sure it would be a big boon for them. So we'll have to see what happens. Demonetized again? Well, it's y'all's money, not mine. Crypto owners banned from working on U.S. government crypto policies.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense? Do they do that about other stuff like stocks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd have an incentive to skew the policy if you're, if you hold it.
Well, but aren't they on record as many people in the SEC own crypto?
Yeah, I think that's probably what this is about.
U.S. government officials who privately own crypto are now banned from working on regulations and policies that could affect the value of digital assets. But it's got to be government officials. Now, we're not government officials, which, by the way, I have a call with our politics guy today. We're going to be, I think it's today, maybe it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow while you're at lunch. So
Cool.
I'm going to do it by myself. We're
Perfect.
going to be coming out with big news in the next week about what we're doing with politics, and it's super exciting. And no, I am not running for president this time. So here we go. A result, employee who holds any amount of crypto or stablecoin may not participate in a particular matter if the employee knows that the particular matter could have a direct, predictable effect on the value of their cryptocurrency or stablecoins. If anyone at the SEC that is involved in the Ripple case owns XRP, the whole case should be thrown out, right?
Yeah.
If this goes through?
Pretty much.
The new ruling applies universally to all federal government employees, including the White House, Federal Reserve, and the Department of the Treasury. According to Raymond Hsu, the co-founder and CEO of Capital, recently legislative proposals could make U.S. one of the only Western countries, could make the U.S. the only country, Western country, to fully regulate and accept stablecoins and other digital assets as part of the financial system. So let's see here. Yeah, we talked about that. Let's move on. Talk about SBF here. Sam Bankman-Fried. Jury's still out on this guy. I think for me personally, I think I've turned on Jesse Powell. I think I like Jesse Powell. God, I hate saying that.
It's all right. Hey, what did you say about new information, making new decisions?
I got a lot of new information about Jesse Powell, and I think I like him. I don't like some things he said, but I think I like him. My jury is still out on SBF. Yeah. You're a little more positive. Wendy loves him. I'm not 100% sure in his camp. Well, I think what you said was good. Didn't you? Was there a tweet about him or something you showed? It said something like, "He's not perfect, but he's not evil."
No, that was a text conversation between us.
I just read our private text messages.
Yeah, we were going back and forth.
People can't see the pictures, can they?
No, pictures are locked down.
Thank God.
Only on iCloud.
Yeah, great. We're not in the UK.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying though? What was kind of the sentiment about it?
The sentiment was that, I think he's very savvy, very business sharp. He's making shrewd decisions, but he's not necessarily a savior. He's not perfect. I think that's why I said not evil, not perfect. Some of these people you put in an evil category. Yeah. I don't think that's him, but I think he's still human, basically. And that's I don't know what this story's about.
Well, I mean, I can certainly I can empathize with that for sure. Yeah. Like going through this channel and things we've been through on this channel, like it's a learning process. It's something you gotta figure out as you go sometimes. And you don't always make 100% of the right decision. You make the right moral and ethical decisions. But that doesn't mean that it was actually the right decision for your company. And I think that might be something he's gone through as well.
And I don't know this story. We'll look at it in just a second. But the CZ's tweet about this sums it up pretty well, I think.
Okay, let me go to that tweet. I'll pull it up in 1 second. Are you going to pull it up on your side?
No, I don't have it, but I can.
Right now, we got 5,800 viewers approximately. We got 1,320 likes. Guys, we can easily get 2,500 likes today, I believe. Hey, easily get 2,500 likes. We can do this together, you and me, the BitSquad. Let's make it happen. Still keeping great numbers through the bear market. And, we're obviously very appreciative to those of you BitSquad members who have stuck around. We're going to be trying to do some more meetups here pretty soon. Like I said, that was a bad poll question. I should have thought that through. Like, do you want me to do a Canada meetup? Only people in Canada are going to say yes. But I think we are going to do a meetup in Toronto in some form or fashion. It may not be as official as the other ones we've done. Maybe it will be, but we'll be putting more news out on that. And then, we'll be doing some more of those in the future as well. So obviously, BitSquad, you go to the Rare Bloom event. You go to Rare Bloom on Twitter. I think BitSquad gives you 10% off. I tweeted about it yesterday. Love to see the BitSquad out in Colorado on October 14th and 15th. We could definitely do something, formal there as well. So make sure to smash the like button. Let me pull up that tweet real quick from Mr. Sizz. Or is it Sizz or is it Kuzza? You think? Sizz. Let's see what he said here.
Not that one.
No, that's not it. That's weird.
There it is. Right there.
Three Arrows Capital owes Voyager a few $100 million. When bust. FTX Alameda gives Three Arrows Capital $100 million, but didn't say it. Now, this is what Wendy was telling me. Wendy was talking about on the show yesterday.
Okay.
Wendy was telling me about this, that there's some weird thing that people can't really put their finger on what happened. Alameda invests in Voyager, then takes $377 million loan from Voyager. Okay. Voyager went bust. FTX didn't bail them out or return the money. Hard to follow. So it's a little bit of a slippery tail here.
In short, you invest in Voyager knowing they're almost insolvent. Take a approximately $400 million loan from them. Basically, you suck out the last little bit liquidity they have. You know their positions. You liquidate them. They declare bankruptcy. You just got $400 million for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Savvy business. Not necessarily perfect.
Not perfect. Look, I want everybody to be clear on this. Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried, this is what I will definitely say about him. Okay. He has a lot of money. That's it. So it's easy. Great. But what I will say in this is, this guy is a businessman first. And you have to understand, I think a lot of his actions have been portrayed as like altruistic, like he's really just trying to help crypto. But if you follow the money, he's benefiting from every single thing he's doing. He's not taking a gigantic loss places for altruism, you know? He wants to gobble up every corner of crypto he can. Now, look, maybe ultimately, very similar to us, we have altruistic, that's what we do on the channel. We give money away, help out single moms. We, donate all kinds of money, all kinds of stuff. I don't want, by the way, if you know someone that needs a single parent or someone in a bad spot that needs a vehicle, we're getting ready to do another one of those here pretty soon. You can send an email to giving@bitboycrypto.com, and then we will send you a form back to fill out. I think we've been having some talks with some people in the Atlanta area that kind of want to join up with us on that. So pretty cool stuff. So we want to do altruistic things. Ultimately, I want everything I do in crypto to be good. Eventually I want crypto, the story of the beginning of crypto, which will be the first 25, 30 years of it. I want it to be written where you can't leave me out of it. Like I want that. Because I want to do positive things. I do think Sam Bankman-Fried does want to do positive things overall. But right now he's trying to control as much of it as he can through business means, maybe ultimately to reach a more altruistic goal. I think that's kind of the situation I see him in, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense.
All right, so here we go. Latest interview with Reuters. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried revealed the amount of financial ammunition still available for saving companies with drained liquidity from collapses. Meanwhile, he laid out the criterion for picking companies considering worth to be saved. I don't need saved, Sam. You don't have to call. No plans to invest in Bitcoin miners. So this is interesting. Regarding the latest rumor of FTX stepping into Bitcoin miners, SBF replied, it represents one of few sectors in the space that do not interest him because it is not a customer protection area or nor an area of liquidity. So you see the double here. It's not a customer protection area or an area of liquidity. And then also we had, real quick, let's see if I can find that CleanSpark article that came out today.
Oh, yeah.
You guys know we love CleanSpark. We did a video with them. Hope you guys enjoyed that. News is what I want to click. CleanSpark pulls back, yada, yada, yada. Was it this one?
I'm not basically, the long and the short of it,
300. They minted 339 Bitcoin this month, or mined.
Yeah, and they're selling it and increasing their operation is basically what it said. Yeah. They don't necessarily hoard Bitcoin and sell at the top. They sell some every single month, and they're increasing their mining activities here. And
they're using the money to grow. They're not just taking profit and letting it sit.
Right.
Yeah. So pretty cool. Two locations here in the Atlanta area. Great guys. Great guys and gals that we interviewed while we were there. So really excited. I love that big flex at Georgia's #1 crypto mining state.
It is great.
It's a pretty freaking cool state. Flex. We're also going to be the #1 Web3 music hub.
Hey.
Which you'll learn more about later. There's another tease for y'all. Another tease. I'm really good at those teases.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm not in the UK. SBF, Alameda, owing bankrupt crypto broker $376 million is interesting, according to CZ. This is what we were talking about. We talked about all those numbers. Here is this big revelation in the Chapter 11 filings. They own $376 million in this company, raises several questions and concerns. Is fight for influence over crypto market possible? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what he wants. He wants the influence over as much as he possibly can get. And guess who he's competing against for it? CZ. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, is not in the same thing that these people are trying to do. Brian Armstrong, in my opinion, and I'd like to get your feedback on this, TJ, I forgot your name. Uncle Brian, as we affectionately call him on the channel, he's more interested, I think, in tech software angles with Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as interested in growing Coinbase to be as big as Binance as an exchange. You agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like on an approach standpoint, I think he is interested in user growth, obviously, because that's part of it. And they
Right.
are trying to expand Coinbase. But I think, yeah, they're trying to niche, probably stay in their lane. Coinbase.
They want to be a FANG stock.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's what, and they put all their eggs in being the first one to IPO. Now you're hearing Binance talks about it. I saw an article today. They're preparing for an IPO. Kraken, FTX, they're all moving that direction. Ripple. So yeah, Coinbase is trying to hype that up, and they're in that profits and users and raise kind of, like you said, FANG stock type mentality, which I think Binance and FTX are taking the better approach, to be honest.
Well, for crypto, but if you look, leave that super chat up there. But if you look at a FANG stock, if they're trying to become as big as a FANG stock by basically, software as a service would be one thing that they would offer. They've got cloud services already. They've got a lot of different things they've got their hands into. Like, what would you rather compete against? Would you rather compete against Apple, or would you rather compete against FTX and Coinbase, or FTX and Binance?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both ways you're going to win big, but the tech stocks have a longer proven track record. I think that's what Coinbase is trying to do, is get in that conversation. And the other two companies are really trying to control crypto. And it really kind of creates like this little triforce of exchanges, if you will, to use a Zelda term, that can, I think, bring balance eventually. Here we go again. OMI says, SBF is a Biden puppet. FTX has sold 15x the amount of Bitcoin as other exchanges. Well, I certainly would not tell you that when it comes to FTX, its association with Solana, that there was not money pumping to sell. What I would say about that is, I don't think that's correct. I don't believe SBF is a Biden puppet. I think it's the other way around. I think that there's a reason he was the number 2 donor to Joe Biden's campaign. Maybe he knew he was going to win, possibly. That's up for debate. But the fact is that he bought influence with the president. He bought influence with the administration. He bought influence with the government. That's what that was really about. It was a way of lobbying in a lot of ways. And look who's getting off scot-free with everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
FTX. Certainly is not the other way around. I don't think Joe Biden knows who Sam Bankman-Fried is. I'll tell you. Do you think ISO 20022 coins will fuel the next run? I believe XRP will. I believe XRP will. The other one's still out for debate. Over 1 billion inflows, Doge market cap, as Elon Musk's boring company accepts Dogecoin for rides. And once again, just like I told XM Radio this morning on this town hall, if anyone accepts Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum for payment, it's a marketing stunt. That's all this is. They don't actually want to take Dogecoin from you. I'm sure of it. Elon Musk going all in on Dogecoin, and this time it's not by sharing memes or appearing on TV shows. Instead, one of the billionaire's companies has announced that customers can now use the dog-themed crypto to make payments for its services. And I think that is called the Neuralink Twin Service or something like that. I can't remember. Cancel it again. Boring Company's adoption of Doge as a payment mechanism for rides is one of numerous antics by Musk to promote crypto using his influence. What the frick is the Boring Company? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's his offshoot. That's the tunnel company where they make the tunnels for traffic.
Like under LA? They're trying to do one under Las Vegas, I guess?
I'm pretty sure that's it. And didn't he do the flamethrower? It's just a random offshoot company.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had never heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it's boring. Maurice Mendoza, Pluto Alliance member here. He gets money every single month, or he has the potential to get money every month from our YouTube ads. We give those to our NFT holders. Come join the Pluto Alliance. Great community with forward-thinking utilities. Come see what the Kings, Devs, and Ben have in store for the future. This Friday, I believe this Friday, I'm joining that. It's either this Friday or maybe it's tonight. Is it tonight? Whenever it is, I'm going to be there. Whenever our next big meeting is, the Kings meeting, we're going to be down there. We're going to be talking about ways we're going to be improving Pluto Alliance. Floor price has been going up, which is good. We want that for our holders. We give more utility than, pretty much everybody. And if you want to, purchase a Pluto Alliance on the secondary market, of course, not financial advice. Just so you guys know, we are going to be doing more official AMAs with me in the Pluto Alliance Discord. I'm going to be going in there at least once a month in a structured format so people can talk, ask questions, whatever. They're actually putting together a cruise. Put together a cruise for next April, I think it is. If you want to go on a cruise. I'm not sure if I'm going on the cruise. I'm definitely doing a party the night before the cruise. But I think I'm going to go on the cruise. We'll see what happens. I can't commit to that. Got to see baseball schedules. You know how it is. Elon Musk had twins last year with exec Siobhan Zillis just weeks before his and Grimes' baby was born. Oh,
What
honey,
a life.
I had a baby with another lady. Make it 2.
Make it 2.
Sorry, it was a double. Wasn't expecting that. 51-year-old Tesla CEO fathered twins with Siobhan Zillis last November, according to court documents. That's Grimes, I think, isn't it? Where do we have a picture of Siobhan? I saw her this morning. I'm not in the hallway. I mean, I saw her in an article. It's Neuralink. I could have been there in mind, you know.
Yeah.
So here she is. This is Siobhan Zillis. Kind of looks like an AI a little bit. But you know, that's what's going on with him. Finish the article here. He's 51. Did you know he's 51?
I knew he was
I got
close.
12 years to catch up to him. I think I'll make it.
All right.
After welcoming the twins, Musk is now a father of 10. It's 10? I thought it was 9.
I heard 10 or 11.
He's got double twins.
Wow.
Double mint, double the fun. He shares 18-year-old twins Vivian Jenna Wilson and Griffin Musk. What? Why do they have different? Oh, she must be married. That's why. Along with triplets. What? Kai, Damien, and Sax Musk, who were born in 2006 with Justine Wilson. 2 had another son, Nevada Musk, who died at 10. That's awful. That's why it's 9. Okay. Take that back. That's terrible. Sorry. Last week, Vivian was granted her request to legally change her name and gender. I can't keep up with the moving pieces of the story. This has gotten too much for me. So Vivian was a guy at some point, apparently, or something like that. Changed the name. So I guess that isn't from getting married. I guess just change the name. You know, you can change all kinds of things these days. Musk does not often discuss his own family, but he does have a strong opinion on increasing birth rate, stating that not enough good people in the world, so he wants to put more out there. 2 sets of twins and triplets. That's 7 kids and 3 births.
Yeah, it's probably IVF and some of those. Likelihood for that goes way up.
He's so weird. I just gotta say he's weird. He's got a weird life.
That's what I was just thinking. What a weird life.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Just be like, yeah, sure.
And here's what's really interesting is these are all with different women.
Yeah.
3 different women. Because now a woman, I know this because we have twins somewhere in my family. People that won't talk to us anymore, but it's a long story. Basically, they had twins, and then later on, they had another set of twins. Sad story involved in the middle of all that, but what I learned is, I didn't know this, that if you have twins, you're actually more prone to have another set of twins.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have 2 sets of twins, they basically tell you, like, you probably need to not have any more kids because, you know, your odds go up even further of complications and, more different sets. But this is interesting. Somebody said, what a boring life. That's funny.
Haha.
But the point here is, if it's got to be IVF or something, I mean, men don't have I do not think men are prone to be able to have twins or triplets.
No.
It's all on the woman's side, I believe. So Mike, I'm not an OBGYN, just so you know.
Good to know. I was concerned.
Or a proctologist or a podiatrist. I am none of those things.
All right. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise?
The next category says Minority Report.
Oh, it does. This is creepy. And we know, we've been talking about our robot video with Singularity. Oh, man. Did you see that video Tristan made?
I saw that clip.
That video is going to be so good.
Creepy.
But that clip is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
It's the funniest clip I've ever seen in my life of anything. You guys are going to love our robot video coming out this weekend. So we like Ben Gertzel. He's a great guy. We like Singularity. They're involved with Cardano. So all you guys know. Desi was the robot I interviewed while I was up in New York. Took a picture. You can check out Ben Armstrong Actually. Is that it? Ben Armstrong Actually. Mm-hmm. On Instagram. You can see my picture with Desi. Let me just pull her up real quick, actually. There we go. That's my wife dressed up in Star Wars. And then that's Desi right there. Looks very realistic on video. The picture maybe makes it look very mannequinish, but the movements are what really makes that crazy. So we're going to have a video this weekend about that. So real exciting stuff they're doing. They say robot sentient in 10 years. So we'll see what happens on that front. But anyway, so on the lines of that story here, researcher developed algorithm predicts crime a week in advance.
Oh boy.
You know what this reminds me of? What does this remind you of when you read that?
Well, Minority Report.
Well, no, not Minority Report. Another thing in crypto. I'm seeing if our brains can Neuralink here.
Another thing in crypto.
Augur. Remember
Yeah,
Augur?
like the predictions platform?
The assassination predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Along the same lines here, you could bet on assassinations. And the reason why is because you wouldn't think assassinations are predictable, but if you actually take all assassinations in the history of the world and put them on a time schedule and then base them out geographically, you can actually in some weird way predict assassinations. And Augur was a betting platform. Augur's got to be dead, right?
I don't know.
That's a project that if it is still alive, it's dead. Nobody uses Augur.
It's completely
nobody in this chat knows what I'm even talking about.
Yeah.
Unless you've been here since 2018. So, but they did that before and they got a lot of flack for it. And even though it is decentralized, they end up having to pull that off of there because there was such an outcry about predicting assassinations. Now we've got AI saying that they can predict crimes. It all happens within a radius of 300 meters and with 90% accuracy. That is scary. The lead author, and that Pincher guy needed this. The lead author of the study, Ishanu Chattopadhyaya, great pronunciation, concluded that the tool's high accuracy does not mean that it should be used in law enforcement policy management. Well, why would it not? If it can predict 90%, why would it not?
Well, because you got to get rid of the last 10%.
Well,
if there's room for error, you can't arrest somebody for a crime that hasn't happened yet.
Well, of course, but if you're patrolling a certain street that there might be a robbery on, and you hear an alarm or glass break, it's just within 300 meters. That's very short. That's a very tight range. Like, think about what that is, 300 meters. Like, that's like in my neighborhood, it's basically like the 3 houses to the right of me and the 3 houses to the left of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very tight range. So you can't solve crime that way, but you could prevent some of these crimes that way. But I would say that probably there would be some, trying to think of the right way to say, I think there would be other impacts of patrolling certain areas that there may be crime committed in. Would be seen as like prejudice or something like that.
Well,
Does that make sense?
A lot of political stuff. I'd put it in the same category as the lie detector, right? Like it's a tool, it's very accurate, but that little bit that it can be beaten means they can't necessarily, they can use it in court, but it's not concrete.
Oh yeah, Augur's still on Coinbase.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Augur's still a thing for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not ever going anywhere. Right.
Most likely.
I mean, there's no way that project survives long term. It's actually one of the oldest crypto projects.
Yeah.
It's actually been around for longer than almost anything out there, other than Bitcoin. And was it the first ERC20 actually?
It started in 2015.
I mean, it wouldn't be. It's one of the older ones we have, but I think it's one of the oldest ERC20s is actually what it was. Yeah. Somebody look that up. Somebody look what the oldest ERC20s are. I think Augur is definitely up there. In August 2021, the Pentagon tested a decision system capable of predicting events several days in advance. So the question remains, could such an algorithm be developed to prevent crypto hacks? Very interesting. That's an interesting take there. And here we go. SEC versus Ripple. Is the regulator moving to strike every single witness in the lawsuit? This is insane news, guys. The lawsuit between the American regulators, the flagship cryptocurrency, the American regulators, the SEC and the San Francisco-based fintech firm, Ripple continues to see new developments. Omnibus indeed. Now let's look what an omnibus is real quick. An omnibus hearing, the main purpose of this hearing is to determine...
You were right.
Dang it. It's the first one?
First Ethereum ICO was Augur, which around October 2015. They raised about $5 million.
You got to trust my crypto knowledge, guys. My predictions may not be 100% right, but I know what happened in crypto. My past knowledge of crypto is pretty strong.
Yeah.
The main purpose of this hearing is to determine the evidence, including testimony and evidence seized at the time of arrest. The counsel for the plaintiff and the defendant attend the hearing to discuss pretrial matters according to the case. So it's kind of like, a pre-case to the case, I guess. So what's going on with this? In August, Pentagon... No, wrong one. A week ago, the defendant filed a motion to oppose the SEC's effort to seal its response to the Amici. The former argued that the SEC's position is antithetical to the right of the public to have access to substantive legal arguments in the case of widespread interest. And by the way, if you are in XRP, make sure to throw the X. I should have done it like this. Ooh. That's the rising of the X. If you're in XRP, make sure you smash that like button. If you like when we bring guests on like we did yesterday in the XRP community, make sure to smash that like button as well. We had a big call yesterday about stuff going on with our world's biggest XRP party. It's coming. That's what I'll tell you. It's coming. Couple more months before you get all the details on that, but it is coming. SEC sought permission to file the Omnibus. James Fallon, a famed attorney, highlighted this development in a tweet that read, SEC sought permission to file one Omnibus big motion to exclude or limit expert testimony up to 120 pages long. Ripple defendants do not object, provided they be allowed the same page limit for their response in opposition. So what they're wanting to do here is remove expert testimony on the side of Ripple. But if Ripple is able, or Ripple has basically agreed, like, that's fine, that you can't use any experts either, or to this certain limit at least. I think that's kind of the gist of what they're saying here. But it's a decently big thing here that they're doing. A lot of people kind of their jaws have dropped that Ripple is wanting to, or that the SEC is wanting to exclude expert witness here. Very sketchy. Now, we do think that possibly if these William Hinman emails get approved to be delivered to Ripple, that this case will be over. That it'll be the end will be concluded in theory, but then they still have to go through the process. I don't expect this actually to happen until Q1 of next year. So basically, needless to say, this development incorporated different reactions across the board. A majority chose to narrate their anti-SEC sentiment. For instance, another attorney, Jeremy Hogan, questioned the SEC's motives here. They are moving to strike every single witness? What? And I do want people to understand, that I am not a legal expert. I am not a legal expert. When I talk about these narratives and these attorneys and these different kinds of hearings, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I want you to be clear. I'm not a legal, that's why we bring John Deaton on and Jeremy Hogan on. I'm certainly not a legal expert. I try to break down my understanding of it the best that I can. But if you guys have been following this case and James Fallon and all the jargon, very hard to keep up with. I like when I have questions when I'm really like, what does this actually mean? That's why I like to bring John and Jeremy on the show, because they answer that in a very simple way. But even some of those answers can be, pretty complicated. So, and this is where Jeremy Hogan talked about the Hinman emails. Basically, if this happens, it will be probably dead. Look forward to Ripple's motion to strike the expert report of Mr. Duty. It should be a doozy. Now, Mr. Duty, of course, is the guy who said that, what was the thing that he said? I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was basically where he was a witness saying he represented every XRP holder, and he had never actually even spoken to an XRP holder. So we know that guy's a big fraud. He got paid for it. We also know, I think the SEC funded his work with a separate company. So very, very sketchy with old Mr. Duty. So looking at the quick hits here, I'm just going to cover this story, actually. We'll skip over the rest of the quick hits because we're kind of running out of time here. But I did want to mention this. Solana ecosystem sued for securities violations and illegal profiting. Understand, this is kind of, it's not really a big story. It's not really a big story. Okay. It's put out there like it's a big story, but this is probably going to end up just being a frivolous class action lawsuit, kind of like we saw this guy Bradley, something from Arizona, sued Ripple before. I don't know where all that stands at this point, but it's not going to get, he's not going to win it under any circumstance. This is not the SEC. The SEC is not suing Solana. Solana is in no trouble from the SEC as of right now. Solana holders have argued that the selling and promotion of the Solana ecosystem by the CEO, Anatoly, what is his name? Anatoly Yakovenko, and also Kyle Samani and Falcon X, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. That basically they played a role in pumping their own bags, cashing out and making money, and then leaving the retail holders to get wrecked. And this is what I would tell you on this. If you got in at the right time, you still didn't get wrecked. You made a ton of money. If you came in at the very top, you lost money. But you can make this argument about anything out there. I certainly do believe there's more manipulation with FTX and Solana. There was more manipulation with those projects to the upside in this bull run than any other coin out there. I do believe that. But it's going to be very hard to prove in a court of law. And, basically all this boils down to is you got a bunch of babies whining that they lost money. Hey, understand your financial responsibility. Nobody put a gun to your head and said, buy Solana. Remember that. So, all right, guys, let's do Q&A real quick. We got a couple questions.
Yeah, we got a few real quick. Somebody said, Gia said, I don't know if I understand how the ledger works, but if I put my coins on the ledger, then disconnect it from online, are coins safe? Should Ledger Live get hacked?
Yes, because it is safe because Ledger Live is literally live while you're connected. Once you disconnect, they cannot be hacked. There's never been money hacked off of a ledger that was not connected. But I will say that we have a video coming out, I think this weekend, on hardware wallets, comparing some of them. And then we're going to have Frankie's going to do a tutorial on the channel on how to use a ledger probably next week.
There you go.
Okay.
BitBoy, I have 30K right now. Is it possible to turn it into $1 million next bull run?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you agree with that, right?
100%.
Yeah. I think having less than 5,000, it may be questionable.
Yeah.
I think if you play your cards right with $5,000, there is potential if you make the right moves. Not even the complete optimal moves,
right? Just
good moves, that you can turn that into $1 million. We've seen it time and time and time again.
Yeah, 30K is a solid number to
solid.
start with, where you could probably do it with the major coins.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to go down CoinMarketCap for that.
Yeah. Do you think there could be other companies that go insolvent that will cause the same degree of contagion we just saw? Are there really any more dominoes to fall that could cause another big wave, in your opinion?
Yes, I do believe that there's potential for that to happen. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I would definitely lean more towards we will see more insolvency before this is over in this bear market. Keep this in mind, guys. A lot of these insolvency conversations started creeping away because Bitcoin went back up. If it was at 14K right now, we'd probably be looking at more liquidations across the board. And I'll say this, Celsius has affected so many companies with this, and so is Three Arrows Capital, that some of these companies are probably barely holding on because they've got money stuck there as well. So I do believe it's potential. Who are the candidates? Well, like I said, there were rumors about KuCoin. We heard the same rumors about these other ones, and they all said they were fine. KuCoin has said they're fine. I'm not trying to fight KuCoin. I like KuCoin. I've used KuCoin. We have money on KuCoin. We're trying to pull it off, slowly but surely. But what I would tell you is I think that's a candidate to look at, and also you look at Uphold is another one to possibly consider looking at. I don't know anything about their books. I'm just saying when SPF comes out and says there's 4 exchanges that are solvent, you got to start looking at all the options. Yeah. So it doesn't mean any of this is going to happen, but you do not need to be a fool and believe that it can't happen.
Yeah, I would say definitely wouldn't be surprised to see more insolvencies, but I do think the dramatic instant effect of Celsius, Three Arrows, Terra, the quick flash down, I think that was probably the most dramatic. Like what we just saw with Voyager. Went insolvent, nothing dramatic really happened. So I think we'll still see more of that. I think we still see more downside, negative news impacting price in a bad way, but I don't think it's going to feel quite as scary, if that makes sense.
Well, what I would tell you is this, is that I agree with you 100%, DJ, but something people are not thinking of. Let me tell you something people are not thinking of. What other VC firms are on the edge of liquidation that we don't know about? Think about that. And then think about how all these VC firms group up together and how if one even, not even a major VC firm goes down, if a minor one goes down, could that drag some other ones down that then put them in jeopardy of liquidation from some other places? I'm 50-50 on that, TJ. When it comes to will we see another major insolvency? I'm 50-50 on that. I think it could just as easily happen as that was the kind of bottom of insolvency. But I do believe that we get another leg down.
Yeah.
So what would bring that? Could that be another insolvency? So just don't be dumb. Don't keep your money on exchange. I'm not saying if you did, you were dumb. You made a bad decision. But, pull your money off. You should be acting as if all exchanges are insolvent. That's going to be the only way you're going to get 100% protection. And I saw that, who's our friend, our friendly mod that's been our mod forever? Shannon asked, she said, well, when you pull it off, do you mean selling it? No, just pulling it off, put it on cold storage. We're going to be showing you guys some videos on cold storage here in the next couple of weeks. So I think that's all I got, guys.
That's it.
Can you invite Dirty Gary Gensler on the show? Absolutely. I will invite Gary Gensler. I will invite Skeletor on the show. I'll ask him just like that. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. UK people, please don't cancel me. I love you. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.